Hello, my name is Deborah Roberts, and I'm the chair of the Stoughton Select Board. I'm here with a few of our guests. One is Delia from Social Security Administration, Bill from Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Janice from the town of Stoughton Public Health. Now, as most of you know, Stoughton is a town of approximately 30,000 residents. And according to the most recent U.S. Census Bureau, 20% of the population is age 65 or older. But we know that number is going to continue to grow. So that's why we're talking about, well, what do we do as you're aging in? What are our resources? But before we get started with that, let's have our guests introduce themselves. Delia.
Thank you. My name is Delia DeMello, and I'm with the Social Security Administration. I work as a public affairs specialist covering southeastern Mass, South Shore, the Cape, and the Islands. So educating the public about our benefits, our resources, and how they can apply and seek any benefit and information they need.
Thank you. Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill Rowbottom. I am a senior plan consultant for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. And we also educate the public about what you can add to Medicare to make it more complete. So that is my role at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Well, thank you. And Janice, hey.
I'm Janice Bruce. I'm the director of the Stoughton Public Health and Visiting Nurses, as well as the director of Human Services, which covers the Council on Aging. Working with mostly seniors, this is information that's really important to a lot of our patients and the people that we see over at the Council on Aging. So I'm here to learn some things and maybe offer some information about what people can do through the assistance that's here in town.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here and providing us with information to help us to move forward, because it's kind of scary. As you hit a certain age, and let's say that age is 40, then you start receiving emails and information and you don't know what's right, what's wrong, and it's good to have you here. But I know the number one topic that everyone, mostly everyone, has heard of is Shine. They said, oh, go to Shine, they are a resource. So from each of your different perspectives, can you talk about Shine as a resource for all of us? Thank you.
You want to start with me?
Yes.
So Shine, which stands for Servicing Health Insurance Needs for Everyone. In some states, they're known as SHIP counselors. What do? They advise folks that are approaching Medicare age with what can be a very confusing web of information. Like you said about receiving emails and correspondence in the mail. When we're approaching that magic age of 65, people will notice how much mail they'll receive. Invitations to seminars, pamphlets, information about the various plans, and there are many to choose from, so it can be daunting for folks to determine which is the best plan for me. And of course, we enroll folks in Medicare. You know, they either can apply online at ssa.gov, or if they contact us or visit us, we can enroll them in Part A and B of Medicare. But as Bill said, Medicare alone is not complete. So how do you make it complete? And so we can't, say, oh, you should choose Plan A or Plan B or D that's out there. We can say, Shine is a free resource that can help you through that tangled web and help steer you in the right direction. And, depending on what state you live in Massachusetts, we're very fortunate that we have so many additional programs that can help people beyond Medicare, beyond their supplement plan or Medicare Advantage plan, those folks that spend a lot of money in out-of-pocket costs for prescriptions, for example. There are so many other great programs that most people don't know about, and Shine can, again, help them seek those benefits, help them with the application, help them explain how it works, how it will coordinate with their insurances, depending on which one they have.
That was well said, Delia. The Shine counselors, I deal with them all the time because we often visit senior centers or do presentations or Council on Aging's, they are just a wealth of information, and they have to go through so much education every year to update the new information for the following year. And we go to meetings. We actually, all the health plans supply them with that information, usually September, October. And most of them are volunteers. Some are paid town employees, but the majority of them are volunteers. And I cannot say enough about them, because people can come to, we do a lot of educational presentations, but people still leave. As Delia said, it's overwhelming. There's so much information. So we try to leave them with that. You have another resource to go to, Shine, where you can sit down one-on-one. They're going to ask you to come in and bring a list of your medication, a list of your doctors, a price point, have a price point in mind that you want to spend, and then they're going to steer you in the right direction. And what I always say to people to make them feel a little bit better too about Shine is that they're not affiliated with any insurance company. So they're not going to steer you towards one insurance company over the other. They're simply going to look at your needs and help, like Delia said, navigate a very difficult pathway.
Oh, thank you. And Janice,
Okay.
we have Shine
We
in
do.
Stoughton. Go ahead.
Yes,
please
so
share.
it's really exciting that, like Bill said, most Shine counselors were volunteers, but over the past few years, you've seen the number of volunteers dwindle. It's an immense responsibility that requires ongoing training constantly to keep up with all the different insurances and different things that they should know. So Stoughton recently now has on staff a Shine person, Annie, over at the Stoughton Council on Aging. She's just completed her Shine training, and I think this is going to be awesome for Stoughton residents to be able to go to her, especially during open enrollment when people might be making changes in their plan. And it's very confusing, and you definitely need to have somebody to kind of be able to look at it objectively, work on your behalf, make suggestions. And like Bill said, there's no connection. They're not rooting for one plan over another. It's just what your individual situation is. So I think that's what's really important. So we're so excited to have Annie over at the Stoughton COA.
And that's located on Rockland
Yep,
Street?
110 Rockland Street.
There we
Yes,
have it.
it's a great place, and honestly, it's just everything is kept private, and we go by HIPAA. Nobody knows your information, because you are talking about your personal information, and you're providing them with your financial status and all that. So it's all kept private.
That's right. And they are so nice. Everyone over there is so very nice and willing to help.
Yeah.
But let's take a step. First, you have your primary insurance before you turn age 65, and then everything is going as planned. And then all of a sudden, you get the letter, oh, it's time for you to roll over to something else. And then the fear factor kind of escalates, like an anxiety, like, oh, where do I go from here? And what should I do? And who should I trust? But most of all, where should I go from here? So Delia, maybe you can help with that.
So I understand that. I hear that a lot from the public. You're working, you have your insurance through your employer, now you're going to retire, or you're approaching age 65, now what? My best advice would be really to educate yourself with all the resources that are available. And you can start by visiting our website. If you visit socialsecurity.gov, and make sure you're on .gov, not .net or .com, because then you're steered to another website that isn't the official website of the Social Security Administration. And it's been really redesigned recently to make it a little bit cleaner and easier for folks to navigate. There are 3 main tabs from the homepage where you can click on Prepare, apply, or manage. So whatever stage you're at. So someone who's getting ready to enroll in Medicare, I would click on the Prepare page. What will that bring you to? It'll bring you to information about Medicare if you're approaching Medicare age. It'll talk about retirement benefits, whether you can take benefits early or maybe you want to delay, it'll give you all that information. It'll encourage you to create a My Social Security account, which everyone should have, right? We used to mail those out annually. They used to arrive right in the mail around our birthday. But now we need to go online to create those accounts where we really should be reviewing our earnings, our statement, our history, making sure everything is there, that is correct, that there's nothing discrepant. You'll see your benefit estimates there at age 62, which is the earliest age you can receive benefits from Social Security, and it'll show estimates from every age up until 70. And they've also included some fact sheets, so depending upon the age you're at when you're accessing your My Social Security account, so someone who's within 60 to 65, they'll see information about Medicare, the different enrollment periods. When should you apply, for example? For someone who's retired, no longer covered through their employer group plan, they should enroll in Medicare 3 months before they turn 65, so that they have it in place and then they can make the changes to supplement or replace, whatever path they choose to make their Medicare complete. We have online retirement estimators, which are great because that's a big question I get when I do seminars. Well, what age should I receive? Is it better to take benefits early? Should I delay? What about working in retirement? We have tons of information on the website about that. Like, for example, if someone is under full retirement age this year, they can make a little over $21,000 and still collect Social Security benefits. But of course, when you reach full retirement age, the sky's the limit. From that month forward, you can earn whatever you want. So a lot of people aren't aware of that. But all that information is on our website too. Give people a heads up. And of course, for those people that maybe aren't internet savvy and prefer to speak to someone, of course, our offices are open again, which we're very happy about, right? Last April, the offices reopened. You didn't need an appointment to come in before seeing a representative or a technician. But we do recommend, if you need to come into the office or you want to speak with an agent at your local office, that you call and make an appointment first. But people have options. People definitely have lots of options at their fingertips, especially. The website is tremendously informational and helping people, give them everything they need to help prepare for that big day. Whether it's applying for the retirement benefits or whether they want to apply for Medicare only, maybe. That might be their option, but lots of information on the website.
So Social Security is a benefit. It's something you paid into. It's not a giveaway. So please be mindful of that. It's something you already worked for. So it's a benefit.
That's correct.
And then Medicare is more about the health insurance. So what are your health benefits? So we'll go to the health benefits for Bill, and then what are the resources and any other information we should be mindful of, because we talk a lot about health insurance, which is the biggest bulk of our expense. We don't really receive information about dental insurance, so we rarely get information about dental, and your dental health is important too, because that impacts your health overall too. So we'll go to Bill next, and then or we could do vice versa. We don't always have to go linear in our talk.
So Medicare is always your starting point when you're coming off of an employer plan. And an oversimplification of Medicare coverage, it's an 80-20 plan. So you're covered at 80% with your Medicare for your Medicare covered services. Now you could stop there, but 20% of a hospitalization can be quite costly. So most people want to add additional coverage. So Medicare is your starting point, A and B, and then there's two distinctive pathways that you can actually go down. One is what we call Medicare supplements, which generally pick up that 20% that Medicare leaves behind. And it's very comprehensive. Most times you don't have co-payments when you go to the doctors or go in the hospital, depending on the plan design that you choose. But they don't have prescription drug coverage. So if you went that route, you'd have to purchase a separate Part D prescription drug plan. And those can range in price from $10 all the way up to $200. The most important part of a Part D plan is you want to make sure you choose the one that has the formulary with the current drugs that you're on. Very important. Now there's another route that you can go, and most of you may have you see the commercials on TV, free this, free that, zero premium. And there are zero premium plans out there. Blue Cross does have one. But the Medicare Advantage plans are different. They're all inclusive. They're very similar to your employer plans or your work plans. So they're your medical, your prescription drug coverage, and then the insurance company throws in extras like money towards glasses, some dental coverage. That was a great point. Dental is very important to your overall health. They might have fitness reimbursement or weight loss
What about
reimbursement.
hearing aids and things?
Hearing aids are also covered under our Medicare Advantage plans, and at a very reduced price on our particular plans. So neither one is right or wrong. Everybody's, health concerns are different. Everybody's can afford a different, maybe some can afford a Medicare supplement plan. Others may not be able to, afford their Part B, their supplement, and their Part D, so they go for the Medicare Advantage plans, which generally range in price from zero premium up to about $100. But again, they're very much like your work plans. You go to the doctors, you pay a copayment. You go into the hospital, you pay for the first 5 days of coverage. You have an outpatient MRI, you pay for that. So neither, again, is right or wrong. And everybody, whether you're turning 65 or you're already 65, should review their medical plans every year to see if they still meet their needs, number one, and number two, what are the plans offering this year? So they may choose to go with a different company or a different plan, or they may have gotten an illness, serious illness, so now they need more coverage, so the supplements look more attractive. So to get that information, Blue Cross offers seminars throughout the state at hotels. They're all on our website. We also offer Zoom meetings, so you can do that from the convenience of your home on everything I talked about. And our website is bluecrossma.org/Medicare, and it has a wealth of information on there to pretty much everything I talked about, but it goes more into depth. But again, most people do want to have additional coverage, so neither is right or wrong. And once again, everyone, even people that are still under 65, maybe watching this, you should be reviewing your employer plans every year to see if it still meets your needs.
Oh, great. And Denise, please add on to your comment. What if you find out that you, as you're turning 65, you don't have enough quarters? You haven't worked enough quarters. Should you still apply for Medicare? Please
Right.
include
Oh,
that in
yeah.
your
So
comment.
Deb and I had been talking about that
Yeah.
because I'm retirement planning right now. I'm actually going to be retiring from my full-time job in August, end of August this year. So through going through all this, which I'm right in now, I just applied for my Medicare Part B this week. But through doing all of this, and my husband also had worked for the town as well, but he had gone over to Social Security and he didn't have enough quarters. And he was covered under a town insurance plan. He didn't apply for Medicare when he was supposed to. So I think the advice is that you have to, even if you have insurance and you don't have enough quarters for Social Security, you still need to put that application in when you're 65.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right. There was a law in Massachusetts that made it mandatory that all municipal employees enroll in Medicare A and B if they're eligible. And there are many ways. If you don't, to be eligible for Medicare, there's so much confusion about that people will assume, I'm not eligible for Medicare, I don't have 40 credits or quarters as it used to be called. You need 40 credits to be insured for free Part A, which a lot of people don't realize. Part A is free if you have 40 credits, if you've worked at least 10 years and paid into Social Security. And for municipal employees, even employees of the Commonwealth, you may have or you may have not, right? But there are other ways to qualify for that free Part A under Medicare. you can qualify for free Part A even if you don't have 40 credits through a spouse. A current spouse, an ex-spouse, a deceased spouse. I always say there's so many ways that we can get people enrolled into free Part A. But most town employees, if they were hired after 83, they are contributing into Medicare. They are deducting from their pay into Medicare, right? So the full FICA they are not, because they're contributing into their own pensions, but they are contributing into Medicare so that when they turn 65 and their HR departments or their towns instruct them to enroll in Medicare A and B, so then the town insurance, you can make your changes to supplement or replace your Medicare, you have that in place. And again, most people now are paying in, if they're a town employee or municipal employee, they are contributing into Medicare. It's like 1.2 into Medicare, not the full FICA. But you can still qualify for the free Part A if you don't have the 40 credits, maybe through a spouse, former, current, even ex or deceased. So there are different ways.
Well, you brought up a good point, and it was a trigger for me when you said about your spousal coverage for Medicare. What about for Social Security? If you have benefits under Social Security for yourself, can you also get some benefits under spousal coverage? So can you get both?
That's
It
very
kind
possible, absolutely. So spousal benefits under Social Security were intended for that spouse that didn't work outside the home or didn't work and earn much outside the home. So a spouse, a current spouse, who's at least age 62 and has a spouse that's collecting a Social Security benefit, can qualify for up to 50% of their spouse's full Social Security benefit. Of course, taking it at 62, that's considered early retirement, so there's a reduction. But to qualify for that spousal benefit, 50% of their spouse's full Social Security benefit has to be greater than their own. So it could be that someone that, a spouse that did work and has enough to receive a Social Security benefit, but perhaps an insignificant amount, they can receive their own benefit plus the difference between theirs and half of their spouse's Social Security benefit. And again, I encourage people, we have on our website calculators that not only will allow you to calculate your retirement benefit, taking it at one age versus another, but we also have spousal calculators there too. So if you're curious, well, gee, I wasn't a really big wage earner, I stayed home most of would have been my working years raising the kids or whatever, for whatever reason, curious about that spousal benefit, again, on that website we have great calculators so that people that are in the planning stages can determine, okay, what would I receive at this age versus another, or do I even qualify for that spousal benefit? So yeah, it does help provide an additional benefit to the household. Doesn't take away from that higher earning spouse's benefit at all. It's an additional benefit. And that goes for divorced spouses as well. The only extra eligibility factor is for a divorced spouse is that he or she had to have been married at least 10 years in order to qualify. Same widows, you have to have been married at least a year. Divorced widows, again, 10 years. You have to be unmarried and had been married to the deceased for at least 10 years. So there are many categories of spousal benefits too.
My gosh. It's a lot of juggling and reading and research, and you're calling your friends that have gone through it before and asking, well, what do you think? What did you go through? So that leads us back to resources. We talked about the Shine as a resource. We talked about our healthcare providers like Blue Cross Blue Shield, and there are many others out there on the market. And we talked about the Social Security administrators that can be helpful.
Absolutely.
So are there any last minute remarks? What is your recommendation and best suggestions? And I'll start with Shanice.
I would say be proactive, especially if you're in that 65-year-old age group area, because I think it's easy to let things slip by, and you do get a lot in the mail. And if you don't know, reach out to Social Security, because I think they're a wealth of information. Also, town's HR department where you're working. They usually are used to these questions. And obviously for me, it's the retirement system as well. So it was kind of getting a lot of information between those three places.
Yeah. Sometimes
and,
it is from different sources.
And they were able to help put the pieces together for me. But it is kind of amazing once you start the process. It's like, oh, I have to do that. Oh, oh, I'm not covered under Part B. I've got to get that going. And
Right.
you know, that's, they said up to the month before you're actually stop working is Part B. But you don't want to miss a step if you don't have to. You know, so.
Thank you very much.
I will leave with education, education, education. That's what it's all about.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, plan, prepare, educate yourself. Absolutely. I think that's the common theme today. I provide retirement seminars, so if there are any companies that are listening or municipalities that are listening that want me to come out and talk to their employees that are getting ready for that big stage in life, for retirement, I'm happy to come out and provide a comprehensive retirement seminar, giving people their options and the tools that are available, as we discussed today, to help them come to those very important decisions with the best information possible.
Great. Thank you, Delia, Bill, and Janice. And to you, the audience, I hope you found this session helpful, and we have resources. So their names and address and contact information will be on the closing scroll as we exit. And thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.